Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net and it is Monday the 30th of November. Thanks again for watching. Is it almost the last day then because it's November before we go into Christmas madness? No doubt it is. So let's just enjoy this moment of calm just for a wee while. As far as Christmassy weather goes, well actually we've got the first forecasts out from the ECMWF 32s for Christmas Day, and I wouldn't take too much notice, to be honest. It brings us back into a southwesterly. But the interesting feature is on the forecast what happens heading into the middle part of December. Normally I wouldn't take too much notice of the GFS operational leading into the middle parts of December. Not because it's December, but more because once you're getting out beyond about day 7, the GFS is nice to look at, good for an indication, but it can do some strange things at times. One of those is with cold outbreaks. However, this one's a little bit different. It's been hinting at the idea of some cold weather for some time now, and it's starting to build this story and focus in around the 13th or 14th. Let me just show you what I mean about a change in flow pattern. This is the 500 millibar flow for today. We've got the jet stream coming through here. Basically the jet stream flowing where the geopotential height lines are closest. So we've got a westerly jet coming in. It's that's blasting in these areas of low pressure off the Atlantic, bringing the wet windy weather that we've seen during the last few days and that we'll continue to see during this week and into next. However, just watch what happens. This is the chart for Sunday. Jet has become more of a southwesterly now across much of England and Wales and southern parts of Ireland. Its source region out here in the Atlantic. Across northern and western Scotland, still a southwesterly here. The source region up here, so cold air coming in. So we get this combination of cold air here, warm air here, strengthens the jet even further, keeps that southwesterly going. But you notice across the south, it's that build of pressure we're getting here from this ridge coming across France. So that's Sunday the 6th. Watch this one. Wednesday the 9th. Build of the ridge because of that southwesterly in here. Here's the ridge centre down here. Here's the cold flow getting into the back of the jet stream, which is flowing through here. So it's strengthening the jet even further up here towards Iceland. But notice that's moved away by the middle of next week. But it's this cold air here to focus on because this is building all the time, becoming stronger, forcing itself against the warm air that you see ahead of the jet here. And the GFS seeing it taking a few days to break through, but by then the cold air is coming into the British Isles. We've lost the warmer southwesterly flow, which is actually here running ahead. So we're starting to see this transition taking place. This is Saturday the 12th. It's a long way away, so of course you've got to treat it with a limited amount of scepticism, but it's the story that the GFS is trying to tell us. And it's cutting off a low down here, it's cutting off lows over here. It's doing the right things. And it's building a ridge just in here. Now, watch that ridge. Because by Monday the 14th, it's a much strengthened feature. We've got warm air pumping up here, building the ridge. But look at that cold air by then that's plunged down through the UK into Europe. Now, what we should be seeing is, with that cold air coming in, is another cut-off trying to develop just down here. Warm air is pumping northwards all the time here, building the ridge all the time, but that allows the door to open to some very cold air coming through the British Isles during this middle part of December. In fact, by the 16th, this is Wednesday the 16th, again, treat it with scepticism, but the story is certainly there. You notice still cold air plunging down in here. The jet stream is flowing through here like so. There's our cut-off low here, another one in here, and the ridge is maintained out here, which is buckling the flow into the northwest. So it's this building story we've been getting from the GFS of this colder hit middle part of December. And remember, our long ranges were saying that as well. We were focused on the dates around the 19th or 20th. This is coming in now earlier, 14th or 15th. But, you know, that sort of 5-day margin of error at such a long range is accepted. And the idea that it's a pattern change is also one that we need to take notice of. And the temperatures from the GFS ensemble showing a downward trend. Here's the mild stuff we've got now. Here is the slip off in temperatures into next week. So it too wants to push it into this colder air. And what's interesting is that the ECM32 is doing a similar thing. I can't show you those charts here at WeatherWeb, but the ECMWF32 run also goes for this idea of a trough going through about the 14th to the 15th, buckling the flow to the northwest. I suspect it may be very similar to the event that occurred last weekend, not this weekend, it's gone, the one before, when we saw that cold plunge of air coming through the country, not lasting very long, but certainly giving us a blast of winter. I suspect it could be a similar story. And this builds confidence as well, because this is the mean of the 500 millibar flow, the anomalies from day 7 to 10. So this is from next Monday through to Thursday the 10th. ECMWF on the left, GFS on the right. And what they are trying to show is a ridge across the States, trough in the Western Atlantic, ridge across Europe there on the ECMWF. And here we are with very similar results on the GFS. So the ECMWF is following a very similar pattern to that of the GFS, and just around the hemisphere there you can see very similar patterns taking shape here. So there is good agreement between the models, and with that agreement in place it builds our confidence in the story they're telling. Of course, that's not to say they're not way off. They could be, but it just looks as if we're heading now into this colder hit in the middle of December. But before that, we've got the wind and the rain to get rid of, and very wet it's going to be, particularly in the west of the country during the next 7 days or so. So some interesting times ahead. We'll keep you updated on developments here at weatherweb.net. But for now, whatever you're doing, thanks again for watching. Don't forget to check out the fast forecast for the details for the next couple of days. Yeah, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Keep the sun shining, and bye for now.